Okay, so yeah, my name is Alius. I came from Lithuania. I'm working in a company named Adform, and I'm working in mobile team, and my role is basically to help our clients to integrate our system in their apps. So each day I'm getting a lot of apps in the different coding approaches. So today my topic gonna be just introduce you into another way how people making apps. So first of all, before I begin, I have an announcement that this topic gonna take about 12 hours. So if you need to go to eat, to toilet, or to grab some food, it's about time. In other case, I will continue. No? No? Okay, let's go. So probably the main topic gonna be about apps. So why people are making apps? I have several questions and answers why people are making apps. So first of all, they're expecting that it's a new trend, the world is moving, so it's a good start to making apps. Another answer could be everybody is making apps, or apps making money. Some companies are earning a lot from making apps. An example, Twitter, Instagram, Foursquare, and so on. And let's say you have a business which is based on something which people should browse or check every day. So it's good for a business, and over 1,000 reasons why people are making apps. So first of all, before we dig into the code, let's find out what is the difference between apps and what app is the best for you, which app approach is the best for you. So first of all, yeah, we know that there is like two main players in the market. Let's say native apps, which should be coded in native code, Java, Objective-C, C#, and so on. And another approach is web apps, which is basically running inside the browser. So I made a screenshot from a very popular app. On the left, you can see native app from Facebook. And on the right side, you can see the same app in a web app, as we call it. So what is the main difference? Do you notice the difference? Yeah, it's lower. It depends on your internet speed, actually. So as I see, the main difference is like 10% of your screen is taken by address bar. So you probably, if you're making money from your app, you need that 10% of your app, and you don't want to lose it by using address bar. So that's not a good choice to go. And as always, there is something in between, like between native app and web app, and that's hybrid apps. And hybrid app is basically the best tool which combines the best things from both platforms. You can access native code and build an app upon HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So there is 3 types of applications. So let's dig into and see what is the main difference between them. So first of all, start from native. So if you go with natives, you probably will get the best speed, the best approach from a native world. You can access all the features like GPS, maps, and so on, so on. If you choose mobile web, the last one, you will probably be able to update it faster because it's web. It updates faster. For native apps, in example, iOS, it takes about a week to update an app. So mobile web is a good choice if you update your app constantly. And in the middle, there is a hybrid. So it combines the best of all worlds. An example, you can code it in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. That's the reason you are here, because you want to hear something about HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, new trends, and so on. It also can access all the native functions, an example, GPS, accelerometer, camera, local storage, and so on. And that could be the option for you to start from. But there is also a but. There is also a but. So sometimes you need to go with native. There is no choice to go with other, like web app or hybrid app. Because, in example, if you're making a game and you wanted to make it fast, so it's definitely go native. If you want to super awesome UI, you should probably go native because it's quite easier to make it on native platforms. So what else? You should probably not familiar with app development. You have no idea what is Objective-C, Java, and you want to build an app with a single code base and share it across all platforms. And also 10 other reasons why you want to go other way. Also, as I said, the reason you are here is probably you want to hear something about cool technologies, web-based. So my suggestion would be to go with hybrid apps. And that's the answer why. So first answer, it's basically that it's HTML5 that acts like a native app. You can code it in a familiar way. You're probably familiar with CSS, HTML, and so on. So it's a good choice. Also, you will be able to get access to native APIs. Also, it's a single code base shared across different platforms. So it's a good choice. And why some companies are choosing hybrid apps? And that's the answer that it could save you about from 30 to 90% of your time, which you will spend on development. Because instead of making 3 different apps for Android, iOS, and Windows Phone in the different languages on the different tools, you will be able to use one single code and share it across devices. That's probably the main game changer why people are constantly thinking about moving to a hybrid. Okay, so let's go hybrid and see what it looks like. So the main idea of all hybrid application is that you write once and run everywhere. So there is no matter if it's Android, iOS, or Windows Phone, or even desktop app. If it's capable to handle the browser, you can make it hybrid. Even Symbian and Bada and Amazon has their own operating system, which has some kind of web view. So it is possible to make it work even for these platforms. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the only tool you need to know, PhoneGap. Okay, who knows something about PhoneGap, or at least heard something about PhoneGap? Yeah, quite a lot. What you heard about PhoneGap? Okay, what again? What else? That's a tricky one. Okay, so actually, I was introduced to PhoneGap like 5 years ago. In Amsterdam, I met a guy named Brian Leroux. He was a founder of PhoneGap. And I noticed that like 2 years ago, after I met him. And if we will go through all the history of PhoneGap, so first of all, PhoneGap was made on 2009. They started a project named PhoneGap. And after 2 years, this project was bought by Adobe. Later on, all PhoneGap was donated to Apache, made it open source. In 2012, the same year, we renamed it to Cordova. I don't know why. Probably they thought it's going to be fun. And today, PhoneGap is basically a distribution of Cordova. And you can find it in the most popular EDS like Visual Studio. Who uses Visual Studio every day? Okay, bunch of guys. So if you will choose mobile app, you will probably notice that there is an option to go with HTML. And under the hood of this project is going to be Apache Cordova. Also, who familiar with Dreamweaver, a product from Adobe? It's an old one. so yeah, Dreamweaver is also has a project with Adobe Cordova because Adobe bought PhoneGap and they introduced it into their own tools. So PhoneGap renamed to Apache Cordova. I'm just making some kind of introduction, not to mislead what is PhoneGap and Apache Cordova, so that's why we have some history part. And what is basically under the hood of PhoneGap? It's very easy and simple to understand from my illustration. So basically, it's an app. It's a native app, which consists of a full-screen web view. We just simply opened a new project, dropped a web view, and made some plugins which will allow you, through JavaScript, access all native functions. And the best part, that there is no URL bars, there is no decorations, there is no zooming, and there is no text selection, which was always a pain in the ass by making web apps, just to hiding all this stuff. And from technical perspective, how Apache Cordova works. So basically, writing a web page, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, putting everything into one folder, hooking up with Apache Cordova. Apache Cordova is basically a JavaScript which has access to native functions, which are provided by native code. So all you need to know is JavaScript, and it's accessible by a JavaScript namespace. Those JavaScript allows you to use console APIs. An example, as I said before, GPS. That's the most popular one. Also, camera, often used. And the output is going to be native apps, which can be deployed to marketplaces, different stores, and they will look like native apps on your phone. If you want a nicer illustration, it's going to be like this. It's basically a factory. You're putting up everything into one box, and the output is native apps. Simple as that. OK, what is the basic logic by doing these hybrid applications? So I'm making HTML5 files, and those HTML5s has all my business logic, all data, and everything on the HTML side. Forking it with Apache Cordova and putting it to marketplace. The app looks like a native. It pretends it's a native, and that's the main goal, to make it look like a native. And that's how Apache Cordova works. OK, let's dig into the code. So that's how my app looks like. It's index.html. You probably know why it's indexed, to load it first. And it looks like, similar to you probably, that it's basic HTML file. OK, where is my laser point? Yeah, here we go. So it's HTML5, a couple of meta links, style sheets, and so on. It's a body. I'm just putting some div with some styling, outputting PhoneGap, including Cordova.js. That's the one you need to include to make it hybrid. That's all my logic is stored inside index.js. And I'm initializing from a namespace app. And I will show you how my index.js looks like. Here we go. Simple as that. Namespace, app, function initialize, the one I'm using right here at the bottom. And I'm binding an event, device ready. That's specific for hybrid applications. So at the moment, your phone will be ready to render all the HTML. Apache Cordova will fire this kind of event. And upon this event, I'm hooking another function on device ready. And all your code goes right here after on device ready is fired. That's it. All you need to know to start making hybrid applications. OK, you're probably wondering, OK, that's quite easy. And what about complex applications where you need to use, an example, camera? Here you go. I put a sample of code. How easily it is to use camera from JavaScript and HTML. All you need to know is namespace navigator. And I'm calling navigator, camera, get picture. And on success, I'm calling on success. On fail, I'm calling function on fail. OK, I'm setting a quality of an image, which I'm going to took. So it's going to be like 50% of quality. And destination type is data URL, what means base 64. Do you know what's base 64? So basically, it's an image converted to a string. And on success, creating new variable image, and to document by ID my image, it's a div, setting a source to data type that image. So I took the image and showing it right after on success. On fail, I'm alerting my message failed because, and the reason why it's failed. Okay, that's good. So far, so good. Pretty easy to understand how it works. And that's the most interesting part starts, that nothing is so easy as you expected. It's really nice when you're creating one-page applications. Let's say you need just one page with one button, which does something. An example, it takes a picture and shows it. No, it's not enough. You're probably wondering about complex applications with many pages, many functions, and so on and so on. So the best tool to start from is, you can name it. What is written on the screen? Guys, who is familiar with AngularJS? Okay, so I thought so. I also listed some key points why AngularJS is a good starting point to hybrid applications. But all you need to know is it's only one. It's the best single-page application framework you ever thought could exist. So it's AngularJS. You should probably start from AngularJS. Also, the bad part is that actually by JavaScript and HTML, CSS, you should create all the elements. Let's say header, buttons, or all the list, which will look like native ones. Because if you go native code, you will probably notice that all you need to know is drag and drop if you want to code on Android. So there is a good tool, Android Studio. So all UI is made by dragging and dropping different components, easy as that. But then the bad side is that you actually need to code it in Java. All the backend is written in Java for Androids. And that's not a good choice if you don't want to learn Java. So for all these lack of elements, it's a good idea to find another framework. An example, Ratchet. Go Ratchet is basically a framework which consists of all look-alike native elements. An example, you want a button who looks like Android button in an Android native app. So you can download Ratchet, CSS, and all images included in your project, and they will look like native ones. Also, there is another great tool called Unic Framework. That's basically the best tool I ever saw and used ever by making hybrid applications. So a couple of facts about Unic Framework. So Unic Framework was started in 2014. And right now, like a year past, the project has like 3,700 stars on GitHub. Trust me, it's a big number. Also, that's the top 50 most open source project in the world. And over 300,000 mobile apps created in 2014. And it's based on AngularJS. So as I mentioned, that AngularJS is the best approach for single-page applications. So it's also, all this Unic framework is based on the same AngularJS and a set of the tools to create hybrid apps. It's a cool tool. I will show you a demo. And more, a front-end framework for mobile apps, which contains a lot of mobile-optimized HTML, CSS, JavaScript components. What does it mean? It means that you don't need to deal with different resolutions, screens, and devices. This framework handles everything by itself. So first example, how to make a fancy list. All you need to know is like 10 lines of code to make it work. And all you see is a really nice list hooked up with Angular. So what I'm really making right here, so I'm creating Ionic list and starting one item. And one item is actually hooked up to AngularJS. And it's going through all the items and choosing one item, each one by one, and creating option buttons, the class option button, which is written right here and outputting item pick from a model, and also name and quote, and that's how it looks like. Quite easy. Also, let's go further one. It's a tabs. Probably if you go with iOS or Android, you will be forced one day to use tabs because many of apps would like to have it. So Ionic even thinks about it and introduced you a tabs. So it's really easy to create them. Example, if you want to go the free tabs, all you need to copy paste your own tabs, Ionic tabs. And inside Ionic tabs, you need to create tab by tab. An example, these free tabs are created by copy pasting the first part, Ionic tab, title, icon, and what it does. And another example is really cool stuff because quite 2 years ago, I was making hybrid applications a lot. And the most annoying part was sliding menus, which are common sense to native applications. In example, Facebook. If you want to see your friends list, you're just clicking and getting a slide list. So it is possible to do it in hybrid applications also. And Unic Framework enables you to enable slide menus in a very easy and convenient way by just a couple of codes a line. OK, let's go to demos. Yeah, let's do like this. Whoa. OK, so first of all, what you need to know about PhoneGap. PhoneGap is basically based on Node.js. So if you want to build a project on your computer, so first of all, you need to have Node.js installed. And to install PhoneGap as a dependency on your computer, all you need to just copy-paste sudo npm install -g PhoneGap. It's going to be installed in your, OK, I'm just checking if internet is OK. And if you want to create a project, so PhoneGap, create, is it create? Yeah. And creating for fdconf 15, that's the name of your app. Here we go. It's already created. So let's go inside fdconf 15. That's a bunch of folders which actually holds your application. Now, it's actually an empty project, and you need to add some platforms. Let's say if you want to go with Android, you must add like Cordova platform add. Let's go with iOS. iOS project created. OK. Let's see how it looks actually from a code perspective. I'm going to my home. I created a folder fdconf. Go inside platforms. It's a project for iOS. And basically, as I said, all the hybrid apps is based on native code. So as I expected, native code will be opened in corresponding EDI. Let's say for iOS, it's going to be Xcode. It doesn't surprise me because it's iOS app. And what I see is basically iOS project, native project. And what is different? It's www folder. They're all my files, which are actually, as I showed you before, all HTML, CSS, and CSS files. Let's start from just a demo how it looks like on the first run after we just created. There we go. That's it. That's a Hello World demo from PhoneGap. And what we actually did is we packed an app and ran it on a simulator. But it looks like an app. You can launch it again. First of all, that was a splash screen. And after all, it's showing a code which is written in your index.html. Here you go, the same index.html, the same PhoneGap, this device ready stuff, device is ready, as it says like here, device is ready, and including Cordova and JS index.js, and making the same app initialize. I'm not joking, I'm opening JavaScript, so it's the same. It's initialize, binding events on a device ready, and on device ready, styling all the stuff to show it. Okay. Let's go with Unic, because Unic is a good stuff. Just go back. Okay, so for Unic, the setup is pretty similar. You're just writing sudo npm install -g Unic, and you will get all the stuff from Unic. So if you want to create Unic, you just writing Unic start new app named my app, and the blank project would be in a tab style. You can find it all the stuff for namespacing inside the Unic page. He downloads the latest Unic project. Okay, here we go. Let's go inside my app folder. It's basically the same as I showed you on a PhoneGap. Unic is extended PhoneGap with all the functionality, styles, and so on and so on. So as I added platform to PhoneGap, so I should do the same on Unic. So, but first of all, you need to hook Ionic hooks add. It means that you hooking up Cordova hooks to Ionic, and just after that, you adding Unic platform add iOS. It adds you all the stuff needed for iOS projects. Okay, here we go. And if I want to build a project, I'm running Unic build iOS. Now it builds an app, packages all the stuff, build succeeded. And I would like to see how it works. So I'm firing Unic emulate iOS. It means run the same app I just built on a simulator. There you go, that's my app. I just built it on Unic. It works like a charm. It downloads some images from a web. All the controls are similar to native ones on an iOS. For example, if I would like to click on a list, it will slide nicely as expected from a native. Let's go back, go to status. And you're probably wondering how to change the code. Is it really hard to change the code? So I will try to open this project I just created a couple minutes ago. Okay, that's my app. Let's open it. It's www, the same folder as in PhoneGap. All the project is based on templates because AngularJS is MVC, so nothing to expect. And here you go, all the code for dashboard. This is dashboard. So as you see, there's a bunch of code. And let's say I want to add a nice, really nice looking button. So I just opened Ionic components and going to really nice buttons. Let's say these ones, block button. I'm just copy pasting it to my, let's say after list card inside Ionic content. All I need to do is build again and emulate. Okay, what is wrong? I didn't expect it. Let's try again. Emulate. Yeah, here we go. That was cached probably. And I just added a really nice looking button with just copy pasting. Okay, what else? You're probably wondering, okay, that's a bunch of copy pasting and I need a lot of time to do it, to make it really work and control all the patterns, pages, and so on and so on. So, remind me later. Yeah, thanks a lot. So, there is a great tool from Ionic that calls create-ionic.io. And all you need to know, it's basically the same drag and drop tool. So I'm creating a new page, an example, blank page. Yeah, I'm already have 2 pages. In the first page, I'm creating a button, just dragging and dropping button, selecting like, okay, clear button. The button style positive. Yeah, and the link gonna be like page 2. And I can test it, how it works. So now when I'm tap on a button, it goes to second page. What else? You can export the same project. As I showed you, if you want to install Cordova, Unic, it's okay. And previously, I was making Unic start my app name and tabs. So from now, you can use Unic start your app name and the project you want to check out from a Unic creator. And the stuff inside the project gonna be the same as you created in Creator. So it's pretty easy to make the whole app in just drag and dropping and linking and choosing something. You don't need to know all the templates, all the code for different buttons or pages. It's easy like that. So really great tool, Ionic Creator. But there is also a but, and I'm keep repeating the same word, but. Okay, so you probably noticed if you Googled a bit about me that I'm basically a Windows guy. Even I'm using a Mac, I'm Windows, and my loyalty to Windows is quite big. So what should I do if I'm a Windows guy? I would like to create something for Windows, in example, Windows Store apps. Did you know that basically Skype is written in JavaScript? And they're using WinJS, the new framework from Microsoft, which is really cool. And you can try it on buildwinjs.com. There is a lot of components, there is a lot of code samples, which can be just plain copy-pasted to your projects and get the same result as Skype. It's really working fast. It looks like a native, and you can test it even on your computer, because really Skype is written in JavaScript. That's about it. Okay, any questions?
Well, thank you for the presentation. And the question is, you showed like development for iOS, and I'm wondering what tools do you use for development and debugging for Android?
The same tools. There's actually no, I can show you an example for, okay, what is the folder? Let's go into cd fdconf 15. I'm firing Cordova, platform, add Android. Now I have already CD platforms, Android and iOS. So for debugging, I'm using Android Studio. That's a tool from Google, and it's basically based on Java development. So I can import open existing Android Studio project, fdconf, platforms, Android, choose. Project, and here we go. The same structure as I showed you before. But basically, as the project is based on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, all you need is a good IDEA for CSS and JavaScript editing. So I'm just using Android Studio for building projects. Like there is a build button. And all the editing I'm doing in my Atom.io. That's the IDEA I like the most. So I'm going to my fdconf platforms, Android, opening. There you go, and there is assets and VVV folder, and the same index.html. That's the only file I'm editing. So I do all the stuff inside Atom.io, editing HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and for building and running, I'm using Android Studio. So Android Studio is basically a tool for building.
Yeah, what do you think about Web Store, for example, the most popular in scope of web development? It's quite close because it's also into JVM.
Yeah.
Is it possible to set up like also environment based on Web Store?
I think so, because there is a lot of different EDIs to build the same apps. You can even build it on console, let's say, if you probably PhoneGap, build Android. It should build you the same app. You don't even need an Android Studio. You can build it via console and try. I don't think my Java home is set, but let's try. Emulate Android. And it should run you the same application. So you don't need actually Android Studio. You can do everything via console. I'm just using Android Studio because it's a better way to see what actually the project structure is. It will take a while to start the emulator.
Yeah, thank you. And one more, please. Could you show us like your best Ionic application, something like this? I'm really wondering because all the applications I saw before, it's really simple, very simple, like buttons, and of course it shouldn't be a game, but
I thought you were gonna ask something like that. Okay, that's an app made for Sweden market, and the main aim for this application is to find the lowest place where we can find the medicine and show how much is the stock on this medicine. So an example, if you choose a search, you will be prompted with an input field. In example, I entered APO, so all the places where I can find a medicine. Now I'm entering the name of a medicine, Alve, so let's say Alvedon. And it gets me Alvedon list and all the list of nearest my location places, and also shows a map. It's a pretty complex app. You can try it. It works on iOS and Android. Is it complex enough?
yeah, much more interesting than just yeah, thank you.
Any more questions? Well, thank you for presentation. I just want to ask you, did you started your way in creating hybrid applications from Unic Framework? Maybe you already used Touch or Dojo Mobile. Can you compare these frameworks and why you choose Ionic?
Okay, it's pretty simple to answer it because actually I started working with hybrid applications like 4 years ago, and there was no such frameworks as Ionic, Ratchet, or AppGyver, or something like that. So each framework was pretty new, and I was experimenting a lot with different ways how to achieve the same goal. And Touch was one of the probably first ones I tried. And what I didn't like in Touch, but basically you need to learn a lot all the naming space from Touch to achieve the same goals. And Ionic, why is Ionic is best? Because there is no such thing as custom namings for different functions. You're using the same PhoneGap functions, which are in Touch, and using AngularJS, and there is no specific namings and functions for this kind of framework. That's the reason. don't really like to learn new things. I would like to use the same ones in each platform.